out as he was the Zen there, and I don't even want to try to recall what that name is. Um, but everybody else is here. And again, Archer being that last one, going to be the ringer, but we'll have to see what they can do here. Again, I imagine ELO Terrace are going to take this one.
Well, I know Yaz playing. I'm not sure which ones you mentioned before, but I know he is playing for these guys. So with that in mind, Bunny Blasters will be on defense to get this one underway. George Lyon currently sitting on the Sombra. We saw this from him on Route 66 up against plus 2 SR. And it was a bit of a hit or miss. It looked pretty decent at times. Other times it was a little questionable. Didn't quite find what you're looking for in terms of how quick he was getting the EMPs charged up and where he was actually dropping them. So we'll see if he's able to turn it around here against ELO Terrorists.
Man. They said they only came to terrorize the Guardian, so that makes a lot of sense as to why they signed up with that name. They came here specifically to snipe out that pro team, man. They came here specifically for that. And not only did they do it, but they did it in outstanding commanding style. And now
they had the opportunity to do it too. Because again, I saw Taponzer's name and I'm like, okay, I don't know really many other people on this roster. Like, they're not going to get a super good seed. They happen to get the 8th seed and they have to take them on in that round of 8. But Urex, we're getting things underway. Prodigy in the back line actually has that control of the high ground, forces them all the way back here, but they're going to move back as a collective unit, find an easy kill there onto Zergling, and they're going to be forced to regroup. A terrific start nonetheless for these guys, but George Lyon needs to get that EMP charged. He needs to be higher than 36% right now.
Man, all right, so now we're going to be seeing Su just kind of pulled back a little bit, playing in that back line, trying to make sure that he doesn't get denied at all by Suck on the Diva as he just runs in, protects his Winston as they run straight in. So finds that kill on the Soldier, and Suck now going to be taken out of Mecha as well. It looks like they're going to be denied this push here, but not before they find a kill onto Fitz.
But Su is cleaning up right now on the 76. Nobody can deal with the sights of this man, and they're actually going to have that spawn advantage, of course. So now Green Stop going to move in off this, and with Benji being taken down, maybe Hippie by Day can pull this back, but no, there's not going to be a whole lot of support here. EMP still not ready to go here. George Lyon only at 76% right now here, and with that, I mean, Fitz could come up, bring in one, but he doesn't have Valkyrie to get the reset on that Resurrect. So now George Lyon still getting close to this one. Sound Barrier barely saves his life. He gets the EMP out, but right after that, we're going to see the Transcendence and that follow-up from the Sound Barrier. They should be able to maintain control here on the offensive side of things. They just need to clean up a few more kills, especially with Hippie by Day now coming back into the mix.
And we're going to see that Pulse Bomb already out. Hippie by Day trying to be the savior his team needs once again, but that's going to be completely deflected out by Green Stop, and he's now looking for this Lucio. Finds the kill. They should be able to mop this one up in just a matter of time here. Benji going to be eliminated here. 4:30 on the clock as they go into the streets phase here. We'll find a late kill onto that Soldier as well.
Of course, Fitz just going to go ahead and die off with the rest of the team. 4 minutes and 18 seconds to work with here. A decent amount of time. I honestly expected the ELO Terrorists to maybe have a little bit more fire underneath themselves after that. But like you said in the chat, after they won that match, you know, all the hype was kind of gone in their minds. I mean, that was a round of 8 match. Maybe they had hoped they could meet them in the semifinals or finals. But still, they're going to find themselves with some tough matchups here. We're going to go ahead and see Fitz drop that Valkyrie here. See if they're going to make a whole lot of use of it on the defensive side of things as they do rack up the kills. George Lyon in a pretty decent spot as well. They don't have many ultimates to work with. Green Stop ready to go with the Dragon Blade. We'll see if he can make something of it.
Yeah, he's been holding on to that one for several minutes now. I think it's been about 2 minutes that he's been holding on to that, maybe even 2.5. And now certainly looking for an opportunity to drop that one out. It actually does unsheath it here, Storm, looking for some kills.
Transcendence on the low ground there from Zergling. Didn't really counteract a whole lot of damage. There was really no one there. Now a self-destruct comes out. Does he find anything? No, not quite going to be the case as Su gets resurrected on the high ground. Nobody's really there to contest as it doesn't look like Prodigy really wants to pay attention to him right now, which is going to allow for easy line of sight. Sound Barrier now coming out from Iron Root. A Primal Rage on the other end. Self-destruct is tossed out. It finds George Lyon, who again was sitting on the Dragon Blade here. And that should be the end of this fight. It should be ELO Terrorists taking this one. They are in a terrific position right now. Su has a tactical visor, but not going to be a great spot for him to drop this one. So he's going to be taken out as well, and some progress going to be made with the payload.
Yeah, but not before even more time is taken away from them. They're going to get a late kill into the Lucio, as well as Benji there, who was second to last at fall. Now everybody else is up for ELO Terrace, so they're going to be able to kind of start moving forward a little bit. Green Stop at 80% back on the Blade. Was only able to find 1 kill last time onto the Soldier. Looked for that Mercy, but wasn't able to actually find that Elim. Now hopefully on this next one, for ELO Terrace's sake, they can find more with it as George Lion pulls out one of his own.
He is just, he's raking in the kills, or should be raking in the kills into the backline. It looked like he was in a pretty good position, but honestly, that was mainly the D.Va from the side of ELO Terrace pulling through with the necessary support. Now Green Stop moving into the back. Can he find anything with this one? Hippie by Day going to be dropped. The tactical visor from Sue didn't really find a whole lot of value. And they're going to be able to more than likely secure a second checkpoint. There could be a contest, but they don't really have a whole lot of people in the area to do so. Benji trying to get back there in time. The boop comes through. They do get this checkpoint, as it didn't. That was a terrific boop coming out there from Taponzor, guaranteeing themselves a second checkpoint, buying a little bit more time with 3:05 on the clock. And they're still trying to push the payload here, trying to contest on the defensive side of things, because why not at this point if you're actually on it and in a decent position? They're forcing out the Primal Rage as well from Project.
Yeah, I mean, if we remember, Taponzor has always been a consistent threat on the Lucio. I mean, that's been a major factor for these guys, even dating back to Prestige Worldwide and everything. Taponzor has been known to not only find kills, but generate really good spacing for the rest of the squad, and that's a great example of exactly what he's capable of just by securing objectives just like that. 2.5 remaining here, Storm, as we do see a lot of ults coming online for the defense. Bunny Blaster's going to go ahead with 2 of them just to start.
And they use that Transcendence, but the Sound Barrier counteracts the damage from George Lion's Dragon Blade there, so he didn't really get a whole lot off of that one. Nonetheless, Sue, he's on that Tracer here, trying to wreak havoc in the back, gets a kill there with the Pulse, or excuse me, doesn't even need the Pulse Bomb. Pulse Bomb gets gobbled up, I believe, by the Defense Matrix, so not going to find much off of that. Remember, though, only 2 minutes to work with, and that's going to be Bunny Blasters pulling back off of this one, cutting their losses. Dragon Blade nearly ready for Green Stop. Didn't quite get a whole lot done with it in the last fight, but he's looking for Sue around the corner here on the Tracer, forced to pull all the way back here. Looking for an opportunity to move in with the Dragon Blade. Resurrect comes out onto Sue as he was taken down as they start to move into this one.
Now Archer looking for an opportunity here to get into the back line. Comes in along the side, alongside Green Stop. Green Stop trying to find some kills there. Doesn't look like he's going to find anything, but at least creating some space for Archer to start making some plays, and finds George Lion.
Feels like a lot of these ultimates are just not being really well used. Not great execution in terms of timing on them. I mean, the Sound Barriers have been pretty on spot, but in terms of like the Dragon Blades and Pulse Bombs we've seen, they really haven't been game-changing like you would want to see. Now George Lion trying to prove me wrong, but no! Shut down immediately at the hands of the tanks there, as this should be ELO Terrace continuing to move forward, but maybe a Sound Barrier has something else to say about that, as I Am Root pops that one, but not a whole lot of people. They're just funneling back into this one. Fitz has a Resurrect. We'll see if he wants to, who he wants to bring up. No one actually in the vicinity to actually bring up, so they're going to be in a pretty healthy position, and Bunny Blasters force him back for the time being with 40 seconds.
And we're going to be seeing Green Stop pulling back a little bit, but they really have to make the most of this attack here if they want to be able to put themselves up 1-0. You know, I mean, when they go over to defense, they might be able to make a stop. We already saw Red Start on the Junkrat really performing quite well, but I mean, they really need everything that they can get, all the time allotted in their favor. They already open up with a kill onto Mercy. The Blade comes out once again, and that's both supports down.
This is exactly what they need right here. He's got the support of the Transcendence at his back. Sue has a Pulse Bomb, doesn't connect, doesn't really find a whole lot there, as it's all Green Stop across the board right now. George Lion still in the area, but no one else is back. Fitz trying to come in, brings up Sue of all people. No one else was really there. Actually, I think he could have brought up the D.Va here, because he brought up the Tracer instead. Not really what you're looking for. Hippie by Day now coming back into the mix here, trying to hold off as best he can, but they don't really have anything to work with. Fitz is coming up on a Valkyrie. Is it enough? Can they hold on? George Lion going to be taken down. No one is back in time, and they will secure all 3 checkpoints here in overtime.
Now swapping over to the defensive side, Bunny Blasters now, who are going to be attacking. Need to take the need to basically take advantage of the fact that they were able to get them down into that overtime and try to get up over 1 minute. Because if you give ELO terrorists, or as we really know them, Rocket Esports, if you give them that little chance to make the most of it in overtime, they will take that from you. They will steal that away every single time, especially at this tier. So, I mean, at this stage, if they don't go over a minute, I'm not super confident in Bunny Blaster's ability to actually come away with this one. I mean, even at this stage, it's going to be hard to get through their defensive, just sheer power that's going to come out. And look at the composition that they're starting off with here. Just that 4-tank strat that we saw in the last game that, I mean, I'm sure that they felt the power of the struggle that they had to go through to try to get through that. Just knowing that, it takes so much dedication of just single target focus, calling out the targets, getting onto them, getting those picks, even off of a dive. It's hard to take one of these guys down. And by the time that you do, Taponzor's going to be able to run in, going to be able to get that res back up, and then you're going to have to start all over from scratch again. And this is a team that knows how to really kind of take advantage of the Orisa pick. I'm not sure how much play Dante had on Orisa before, but this team actually knows how to play the Orisa, and they know how to play around it as well. They have a lot of good practice with it. I mean, we also saw someone who, I can't remember who it was, but in this tournament in the past, in AGs, there was one guy in particular that would pull out the Orisa quite often, and they would play it on this map especially, where we would see the Torb coming out as well, and we would see him just throwing shields up into the air. Who was that?
I don't remember, but I do remember the Torb playing a significant role in terms of this point. I mean, this is a pretty good position, a pretty good point to have the Orisa Torb. So I can't quite recall, because they did rather well with it, if I'm not mistaken.
They're going to do the same thing, where they're just holding on the point and using all these different shields, all these different barriers, these big health targets. You have Ana, you have Mercy, a lot of healing consistency. I mean, it's just hard to take any one person down. They can just, if at any point they take a little bit too much pressure, as Archer is right now, they just fall back inside of that cafe, and then they're fine. Suck just taken down. Taponzor should be able to find this res, and he does.
And Benji controlling that high ground right there. Excellent position from him, ensuring that he's trying to get behind that barrier, but this far Mercy looking pretty good as Hippie by Day cleans it up for the most part. They bring up George Lion, and honestly, that should be enough to secure the checkpoint here. So the Orisa composition not working out whatsoever. The far Mercy, too much to handle. They just didn't have anything to deal with him.
And not only that, but they also didn't play the positioning as well as they maybe could have to be able to, pull everybody into the cafe, find an opening pick, and then come back out, ignore the Pharah Mercy, and try to take picks at the ground level where you know that you have a 6v4 or 6v3 if you find that pick inside the cafe, and just ignoring the Pharah if you can. If she goes down low, grab that hook and take her out of the sky, as we've seen Hippie by Day actually do himself already. But again, just didn't really work out for them. I think the Pharah Mercy was a really good pick into that composition, and they were really fortunate that they wound up starting with that, because it worked out quite well.
The Widow v Widow, and Sue opens it up with a headshot onto Archer, and that's just going to be the opening statement for this second checkpoint push, man. I mean, not much more can be said about that. He forces Archer over to a Tracer now. Wow, just one headshot is enough to force him off of that. I mean, that Widowmaker maybe was looking for the Far Mercy, made that change off of that, of course, here. And Bunny Blasters are in a fantastic position. Now it's a matter of whether or not the ELO terrorists can find a way to deal with Sue. They've got the necessary people. They've got a Diva. They've got a Winston. They can even bring Archer back up there to be a pest onto him. And dealing with him is going to be a top priority as they look for that high ground advantage. Now, Fitz pops Valkyrie here. Taponzor has it of his own. He's going to go ahead and pop Valkyrie as well. But remember, they don't have a Diva now in the mix, which is going to be easy pickings for Sue, more than likely, as Sugg is actually brought back up there by Taponzor. Again, you have to find a way to deal with the Widowmaker, who is picking them apart, picks up both support kills, and they should be able to get some ground. They should be able to move forward with this payload off of that.
And a lot of damage coming out from George Lion on the Tracer as well, who's just destroying them completely in the backline. Anybody that isn't going to be denied by Sue in the backline is just going to get ripped apart by George Lion in the flanks. So they've done a tremendous job just working their way through this streets phase. They did a great job of getting through the first section, and they have not slowed yet at all. Hippie by Day again on this Diva here, just again making space, doing what he does best, I think. A great transition from the Pharah that he was on before.
Self-destruct's out there, trying to find some initiation off of it, and I don't even think they really need to use anything else at this point. And now it's a matter of, despite Su finding these kills, because ever since he came out with the pick Hurix, he has been finding these picks with the Widowmaker, but is it what they need at this point? Do you want to see him change off, or do you think the rest of the team, maybe George Lion, needs to step it up a little bit to follow through with the rest of those kills and actually guarantee him a second checkpoint?
Well, I mean, as he's getting denied a little bit on this high ground, it makes sense that maybe it's time to make a swap or something like that. But so far, he really hasn't been too inconsistent. He's been really putting out a ton of damage, denying a lot of the lanes that you would see these guys having primarily. And it's opening up opportunities here for Hippie by Day and Benji to get in there and really put out a lot of threat onto the front line. So I say stick with it. If he can stay alive versus the Genji and the Winston and everything else, then I say just stick with it, man. You're doing a great job, but that's not going to be the case here, and I imagine they're going to probably swap it off.
And Green Stop sitting on the Dragon Blade. And this is the ELO terrorist we expected. Most of these guys, I believe, what'd you say, 5 out of 6 are Rockets Esports.
Yep.
To me, and I'd assume to you, proclaimed as the best tier 2 Overwatch team in North America.
It depends on how you do the tiers, because you could maybe say tier 3.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. I just wanted to make sure that we are covered for all types of semantics.
We're talking about Academy Gaming tournaments. I mean, there really aren't any tournaments.
Open division level. So if we're going to say
division level teams, that's
tier 1, tier 2 is like Overwatch League, and then contenders, and then tier 3 is like open division. We'll call them tier 3 just to be safe.
All right. Well, regardless, this is the team we expected to see. This right here, this sort of team that's able to hold them off even without their 6th member, but George Lion out, or excuse me, Green Stop out with the Dragon Blade. Not able to really find a whole lot of this one, but Benji forced to use the Primal Rage. They're still putting all of their efforts into this. Fitz has Valkyrie as he's looking to come off from a respawn. We'll see if he's able to make it back in time. Sound Barrier's out from I Am Root, and they're getting some ground covered here. Self-destruct on the payload keeps him at bay. Actually finds the Lucio kill here. And now a Transcendence comes through there. We see the Diva drop another self-destruct out here from Hippie by Day. Can they find any ground covered with this one here? It's pretty back and forth with 50 seconds to go. Valkyrie came out there from Fitz, brings back George Lion, but is it enough to find anything?
They've been just battling it out on this point. 40 seconds remain. Even if they wind up making their way across and still get into that checkpoint, they're going to not have too much time to work with to try to secure that last one. And now it's looking as though we're going to be seeing them hold on. Benji still finding a kill, but it's just him and George Lion left on the point. We do see, I think it's the Mercy Fitz coming back up off of respawn, but that's all that they've got. 20 seconds remain. We're going to see Prodigy going ahead and getting aggressive again. They've got one shot left here.
I did not like that whatsoever for Benji and George Lion to stick around. Die off, get back. They couldn't make up their mind. Now George Lion is coming off of respawn. There's no way he'll make it back for the full-fledged team fight. Hippie by Day will be there to contest along with Benji. The Sound Barrier is out here. Is it too early, though? Because Su has a barrage ready to work with. He's way high in the skies. He does find one, but not quite what I think he was looking for here. A Resurrect brings it back up here to provide that aerial threat as they look to seal a second checkpoint right now here. Self-destruct on the payload, finds Archer. Dragon Blade is out here from Green Stop. He should clean this one up. Finds one, looking for a second. George Lion, Hippie by Day, and Su are the 3 lone survivors here for ELO Terrace, as now Taponzor is back in the mix. He brings up the Diva, which is a great move, trying to prolong this one out. They have the spawn advantage here. They have the Transcendence as well. If Zergling to make it back in time, as Suck now comes out with the self-destruct here. Full spawn as well, finds Hippie by Days. He's not going to be back into this fight here. It's overtime. Is it going to be enough as the defense trying so hard to hold on and ensure that they win this map right here, right now?
And Su's still hanging on. They're trying to take him down. They finally pick him up out of the sky, and still there's just clamoring to this point, trying to make sure that they clean it up and get it through. Benji taken down, and ELO Terrorists are slowly wiping things up. It's just going to be that Tracer left on the point. Can they find the kill? And somehow Hippie by Day gets back up onto it. I mean, he's been the savior in the past, but it look like he's going to be able to do that this time around, as the overtime is going to tick down here.
Instantly, man. That went down in a heartbeat. And, you know, those Mercy reses really prolonging those fights. But in the end, ELO Terrace, they secure map number 1 here in our best of 3 semifinal. And Green Stop, of course, he is the man to get this play of the game. But moving to Nepal for a game number 2 here. What are you thinking about this one? I mean, obviously, going into this, ELO Terrorists going to have a bit of an advantage, but Bunny Blasters, you know, they're warmed up now. I think they're still looking good regardless.
We'll see them moving on into that second map. Is this the round of 8 or is this the semifinals?
Semifinals. I feel like we've been doing this a long time. Yeah, it's the semifinals.
I mean,
we saw a couple of games.
I think what messed me up was the fact that I didn't see the typical map drop that we normally have, like on stream and everything. I didn't put it up. Is I think the situation here.
Oh, okay.
So I can go ahead and I can put that up for everybody wondering exactly how or what maps we're gonna be going to here, and I'm just gonna throw it up on the stream right now. So Hollywood, obviously the first map. Is the second one Temple of Anubis or Nepal?
Nepal.
It's Nepal.
Temple of Anubis is the second one. Man, these guys are AG veterans. I always immediately I come back and I say, let me know when you're ready. Before I even have the chance to say it, they say that they're ready. So you know these guys have been playing in AG for a long time. And I was going to mention it earlier. It was certainly fun to watch Dante, Sinatra. There was one other, Sleepy, I think. I think all those guys played in AGs back with their old teams. Dante with... who is he with again? I can't remember the team name. They were with some org. They were with a team, and then they were with an org that started with an M.
I remember exactly what you're talking about, and I remember specifically when they were playing on this map here on Sanctum, and Dante went to make a huge play and just fell into the floor down here. You know, he just fell down, and it was like a thing on competitive Overwatch. You know, it went on the subreddit. Everybody was making fun of Dante, and then not a week later, he gets picked up by Denial, of course, then becoming Arc 6, and then you know he went on and did his own thing, which now has made us kind of like a household name, I guess, in terms of Overwatch. Really well with his stream as well. But you know, before all that, he was here on the AG Weekly, trying to make a name for himself and falling into the hole in Sanctum without anybody touching him, trying to make a play, and just Genji blading straight down to his death. But somehow coming back from that and becoming a professional Overwatch player. So hats off to him, man.
Yeah, definitely. It was momentary. That was it.
Momentary. That was
momentary, man. That was the team name. That had Jake, not the Jake, not the LG Evil Jake. It had
Tank
the
Jake.
Other Jake that everyone was like, is that Jake? No, I'm
Tank
the other
Jake, man. It's Tank Jake.
Tank Jake. That was him. Those were some fun days to watch. Definitely were. But regardless, we are in Sanctum here. A best of 3 on Nepal, best of 3 set. Should ELO Terrorists take this, they will be moving into the finals for a rematch of their match last week. We didn't actually get a seat on stream here, but both teams playing fairly reserved here to get this one started. Archer on that Junkrat and Hippie by Day on the Junkrat, lobbing those bombs over as they start to move towards the point. Braji's kind of out of position here. Has the Zarya help for the time being as they look to move in. As I think that's Greenstop actually trying to Swift Strike through this one. See if they can find some kills. Earthshatter's out there, but no, Prodigy doesn't find anyone off this. Oh man, the Riptire squeezes right past the Reinhardt. Finds the Zarya, and this is Bunny Blasters more than likely securing the first points.
I'm not sure about this swap. I mean, given how good we saw Greenstop before on that Junkrat, and given how we know Archer is typically going to be playing that soldier role, why would you play the Genji instead? Knowing that on Sanctum, Genji is just not really as good as soldier, at least certainly in my opinion, and really the opinion of a lot more people as well. Certainly people that know a lot more about the game than I do on top of that. But still, they're going to be trying to hold on to it anyways, just trying to make use of that deflect. And they are trying to make some headway.
Did you ever change the overlay? Because they did swap sides.
Oh, I did not. But here's what we do. Here's what we do, man.
Thank you for calling that in chat.
Quick transition, just like that. Oh no, the image is still live. All right, it's gone now.
Umami, thank you for that call out in the chat there. But back to the action here. The ELO
Tier 2 teams, Tier 2 stream, man.
Tier 3, isn't it?
Okay, sorry. Tier 3 teams, Tier 4 stream. That's what we're gonna go with.
Tier
NA
5
production,
gameplay.
you know?
Yes, exactly. Anyhow, they have control of the point right now. They're sitting on a Nina boost, but who do they want to drop that onto this next fight? More than likely Prodigy, unless Greenstop. Oh, he gets a kill. Maybe he's going to have that Dragon Blade up for the next fight now as he picks off hits and should be able to give his team a lead at this point. And especially with Hippie by Day being taken out, you just can't afford to get picked off. It's a best of 3 on the poll. There's not a lot of wiggle room like there was back when we did best of 5s here. So these picks gonna give them the lead for the time being. Is look at Sue right now here. He is on the side. He's looking for a flanking opportunity. If he can find it, he will be spotted out. Gives his team a little bit of ground here in the waiting room to actually move out and look for something. But regardless, I'm looking for an Earthshatter to come out here from Prodigy, looking to get behind Benji's shield. But no, Archer finds the kill. They bring him right back up off of this one. A little bit of ground still being made by these guys, and now Prodigy is way out of position. The Earthshatter comes down, it hits Benji, and as I say that, a triple kill as Hippie by Day's Riptire comes through. They were too focused on what was going on the stairs here that they didn't hear the Riptire.
Yeah, and I mean, Hippie by Day has kind of put himself as the more dominant Junkrat in this game, I would say. I mean, he has been an absolute machine. Completely. I mean, George Lyon now getting close to having that Graviton Surge at the ready. Suck with one of his own coming up as well. We're going to more than likely see some battling Grav Bombs here as these teams are both clashing head to head in this little doorway here. Storm, who's going to come out ahead of this one?
Look, honestly, I'm gonna give it to the Bunny Blasters right here. Look at the ultimates they have stacked up. Is it gonna be enough though? If Sue, no, as I say that, man, they are absolutely deleted. Both teams are dead. Benji, what? Oh my goodness.
Sue with 5 HP, Benji with right. What, 20?
I can't even fathom what just happened.
They come away with the fight with what, 25 HP between the two of them?
And neither team really utilized the ultimates in that fight. Somehow, some way, Benji. Honestly, I thought that ELO Terrace had that, and then somehow Sue and Benji pull through. That was the most unlikely fight you will probably ever see in Overwatch right there. But now, Sue, with the Tactical Visor into the Dragon Blade, the Nano Blade, I should say. Is it enough? They're dueling on the side. Sue drops the biofield. He finds the kill with the Helix. Overtime takes down, and the Bunny Blasters taking round number 1.
What is this game, man? What is this game? Okay, first of all, if we're being completely honest, they really should have swapped that up a little bit, I think. Just go for that mirror composition, have Archer on the Soldier, bring back the Junkrat plays that were coming out from Green Stop, aka Red Start. I think that's really where they have their best kind of performances. But nonetheless, it looks like Green Stop trying to play the Genji anyways, even though it is Sanctum. But it's not going to work out for them that time. Here, though, on Village, you know, I don't know, things... Or actually, it's Shrine, isn't it? Yeah, it's Shrine. I didn't even get to see out the window. I just kind of blindly assumed that it was Village for some reason. But Shrine, you know, the Genji obviously does a lot better here. We're going to be seeing the exact same comp coming out from both teams, as is pretty much expected for a map like this. And first person who caps the point is going to be more than likely the victor in this kind of matchup.
See if that's going to be the case. So I feel like that has kind of slowly dwindled with meta changing ever so slightly over the last month or so. Like it's not as many 100 to O's on this as you would see maybe 6 months
It's usually
ago,
like 100 to 89s or something like that.
Maybe 88. I don't know about that one here.
All right, my bad.
Even so, a good start for the ELO Terrorists. They will gain control more than likely if they can finish out Benji. But again, Archer kind of in a rough spot. He's without the, or excuse me, yeah, he was kind of in a rough spot. He was able to get to safety for the time being and force him back. Benji going to be taken down. Sue still trying to wreak havoc on the point. Will be taken down. And this is what ELO Terrorists are needing. Because Hurix, I don't know if I want to go to a Temple of Anubis tonight. Because Temple of Anubis, man.
Especially in the semifinals, where we still have a final left to go.
Good games all around, though.
It has been
entertaining to say the least. I mean, we've had weeks where some games are just a little meh, but Sound Barrier Initiation coming out from Iron Root. Unfortunately, it didn't hit Fitz, I don't believe. It looked like Fitz kind of got deleted just after that had actually happened. Now, Dragon Blade out for George Lyon. Can he find anybody? Nobody really around for him to come up with the kills. Looking for one, is able to slice through the Lucio. Almost gets D.Va in the backyards, but meanwhile on the point, self-destruct thrown out here from Suck. Not quite able to find any kills off it. Gets the reset though as they try to prolong this one for as long as they can. And with Zergling coming back into the fight, has a Transcendence if they need it. But I just don't think that's the case here. I think they hold this off, and I think Bunny Blaster's kind of wasting a little bit more time now. 50% on the board here.
Yeah, not only did they lose that fight over an extended period of time, which is never good on a capture point map like this, King of the Hill. You know, on top of that, they used so much of their, you know, their ultimate power that they had going into that one just to try to get anything going. lost their footing, and now they're going to have to deal with not only Zergling on the Transcendence on their next push, but more than likely Greenstop pulling out the Blade as well. He hasn't been super proficient with these, but it's been enough to be able to find the kills that they're going to need to be able to secure the objective for sure.
Move back onto this one. Hippie by Day initiates with the self-destruct, but there's nobody else in the area to really help him out on that one. Zergling now with the Transcendence on the point. Probably wasn't entirely necessary. There wasn't many threats really there. And with that in mind still, I don't even think they're going to be able to get a full 6-man regroup here. It's 90% counting. Hippie by Day, Sue, both coming off of a respawn, should be able to contest. They've got a Dragon Blade to work with here. If George Lion can keep himself alive. Fits now. Transcendence onto the point. Do they have anything left in the tank from George Lion with the Dragon Blade looking for something? No, doesn't find anything in that one. Great peel for the supports in the backline as Zergling finds that kill for himself here. Self-destruct is able to connect onto Hippie by Day, who I believe was actually trying to do it himself. Sound Barrier should save the day here from Ponzor. And with a kill onto Benji and a kill onto Sue, they will be able to secure this round here and push it to a third and final one here on Nepal.
Great positioning there from Taponzor as well, as he was getting very, very low, still had that threat of Sue coming at him as well. He just dove right behind his tank, sat inside of them, so most of the damage, if it did actually come out, is going to go to the tanks as they're just so big. Their hitboxes are so large that, you know, really, he's only going to be taking a little bit of that damage, and if he's healing, he's going to be able to out-sustain that. And then on top of that, you know, he's going to be able to support his tanks as well. So really, really good stuff from them to just kind of back up into that corner, tight up against Sue, and just take him down with ease. Really good stuff from these guys, and that's why they were completely lossless in the open division. Just little things like that that you don't really see from the opposition in these AG tournaments. And now here, with it sitting at 1-1, ELO Terrace already up 1-0 in the set. They wind up taking this. They will be moving on into the finals pretty much as expected, but still some good competition nonetheless.
All down to Village here. Sue going to be moving over to the Mei. And if I'm not mistaken, they played on Nepal in their round of 8 matchup, and they brought out a Mei that worked rather well for them against +2 SR here. Sue, I'm not sure if it was actually Sue on it, but he had some terrific isolations with that Ice Wall, so we'll see if that's going to be the same this time around, as they actually hold a pretty decent spot on the point right now. Archer looked for a bit of a flank, wasn't able to find anything. Benji going to be brought back up, though, by Fitz. Pretty even numbers across the board as trades going both ways, but it looks like for the time being, Bunny Blasters have the advantage. There isn't really much of a point presence, but Greenstop already unsheaths the Dragon Blade, but honestly, I would have liked to see him hold on to that one. Well, not going to have that in store for the next fight. I
don't think it was that bad considering Zergling was there as well, and given how they had no cooldowns left, I mean, really, it's just denied by the fact that I Am Root got up the Sound Barrier well before he really kind of should have. I mean, really, really good healing coming out from him as he was just boosting the healing throughout most of that fight, and basically just denied that. I mean, he really couldn't have... Greenstop really couldn't have expected that at all.
Oh my goodness, Archer opening up with the double kill pulse bomb, falls through with Sue as well. Saw an Earthshatter come out from Benji, but that was just overall not the greatest communication because that Earthshatter went straight into the ice wall, but thankfully for the side of ELO Terrace, they only put up 39%. Felt like they put up a lot more than that here, given how prolonged that first team fight was, but they're sitting in a pretty decent position now with that Transcendence ready to go from Zergling. Could be imperative to ensuring they have a long stay on this point, especially since George Lion is now sitting on a Death Blossom. Needs to make sure he has good positioning on that one.
Zergling with excellent positioning here. Nobody trying to pressure him out. Suck going to be taken out as he wasn't even in his mech at all. And now they're going back over to the point. George Lion going to be picked back up by Fitz as he did drop. Does have his Death Blossom available, but they probably aren't even going to need it here.
Graviton Surge. Was that deflected? I think that was. I believe that was deflected by him. I couldn't actually... They weren't getting sucked in, so I'm pretty sure I wasn't watching in first person, but even so, they pull it back even without the Graviton Surge, you know, helping them in that fight. And they will be able to take the lead and hold on to the Death Blossom and the Blizzard here. This could be tragic for ELO Terrace. They are not in a good position whatsoever for the next couple of fights.
Yeah, really going to have to rely on Zergling and Greenstop again here. They did quite well with this combo in that last fight. We're going to need it to come out once again, and then they're going to have something behind it to hold on for the fight after that. They've been good about getting onto the point and, you know, encroaching in and making sure that they get the flip, but holding it out has been rough.
Earthshatter comes down there, not able to find anything off of that one. They pop a Transcendence as well from the side of Zergling, but again, they're holding onto the Blizzard, they're holding onto the Death Blossom. I don't even think they need to use them here. That's going to be Bunny Blasters cleaning it up once again. And oh boy, I think we're headed to Temple of Anubis. They just need to hold on for one staggered push.
Seems like we are indeed heading to Temple of Anubis, and that means we are in store for a long night of Overwatch here, and looks as though we will see George Lion just camping out in the corner. Archer going in, trying to make a play, just stepping in to force the overtime. That May ult coming down, Blizzard on the point, trying to make something happen. George Lion, what a play!
He cleans it up, man. Easy pickings, and Earthshatter still comes down from Benji. Graviton Surge is out there, sucks him right into that one. Still, Prodigy trying to hold on as best he can, but it's too little, too late. And that's going to be the Bunny Blasters taking map number 2, and we're going to be heading to a game 3 on Temple of Anubis.
Here we see what we thought wouldn't happen, and it was a deflect coming out. But on top of that, I mean,
yeah, I thought it was. It looked. I mean, nobody was literally in it from the other team, so I was like, that was totally deflected. But
and
wow,
this was that weird.
That was it.
He had 78 HP, but he hit the health pack for 75, so he had 3 health. And I think what did we see? What did we see the other guy have? Sue. How much did he have again? I don't even remember. I think it was like 5 or something like that. So between them, they had less than, what, 10 health or something? I don't remember exactly what we saw the soldier having, but it was less than 10 health between the two of them at the end of that fight before the health pack got picked up to go up to 78. So, I mean, talk about good fortune. We're going to call it good fortune that they were able to secure that without the use of ultimates. But now going over to Temple of Anubis. There we go. Trying to learn how to talk over here. Of Anubis.
All these noobs running around on Temple of Anubis.
But, you know, certainly expecting to see some Sombra action. You see it a lot from Zergling, for sure. I think that's a big reason why they actually do like this map. They feel pretty confident about him on that character here. They've been pretty good about it in the past. But, again, this is only 5 out of 6 of the regular roster that we're used to seeing from Prestige Worldwide, now Rockets Esports, which is obvious as they are on their alt accounts just to try to deter everybody from thinking that this is the roster that they are playing with, newly signed to that organization. But Bunny Blasters has been consistently getting better as time has gone on. And I said before, you know, I've said in weeks past, several weeks past, that, you know, it's really just a matter of time before these teams slowly kind of start catching up as they get more practice against a team of this caliber. And it feels like it's finally happening, obviously, with the team taking a map off of them, making these other maps. They do have a sub, I know. And I still feel like it is getting slightly closer, because if we remember, Prestige Worldwide used to be just incredible. I mean, it didn't even look close, you know, over the past 2 months. Now teams have gotten it to be a little bit more competitive. I think that over time we'll realize that, you know, this team, Rockets Esports, is in kind of a league of their own. They're going to probably shoot forward and really do quite well, I think. But still, I think there's a sign of, you know, teams that are behind them catching up, and then over time, over the next 6 months or so, I think that we're going to see even more teams competitive at that level.
And Bunny Blasters is just a perfect example of a team that has come so far from like 2 months ago, barely making the round of 8, and now here taking nearly down Rockets Esports. We'll see if they can do it here on Temple of Anubis. Winner of this goes into the finals. We'll see if the Bunny Blasters can pull out the upset here as they look to take advantage of the high ground. Sue on that Junkrat here. See if he's going to be contested much at all as they look to pressure the point now with Green Stop kind of getting into a rough spot. Forced to back off of this one. They lose the Diva mech early on. Hurex, not what you want to see, but Prodigy's up top here, not being contested. Gets put to sleep. Dives back to safety somehow here. EMP comes through now for Zergling, and we'll see if they can make anything of it.
Oh, the pressure is on from the Junkrat. Oh, Zergling doesn't actually make it all the way up, so now it's going to be Greenstop and Archer, the DPS combo. One of them being a substitute of the regular roster guys who would normally be sitting in here of Toilet Man, but they're going to give up the point. Granted, though, it is that first point, and given the fact that Zergling is actually on the Sombra, it's not out of the ordinary, I would say, to see, you know, this first point go in the favor of the attacking team as they go over. Now they're going to have the real struggle. Can you get the second point locked down with Zergling on the Sombra, knowing full well that they know how to play around this character?
Well, they're not in a bad position, though, because Zergling's only at 30%, right? This is the best opportunity they have to do it. But with Greenstop opening up with 4 kills, man, the Dragon Blade, not even necessary for the opening couple of them. That's that. I mean, that shut down. That was their best opportunity. Thankfully, Zergling still is only at 45%. We'll see if he can get up to an EMP, but as soon as that first EMP is charged, this is going to be a rough 6 minutes for the side of Bunny Blasters.
I have to agree here, and we will see Su just opening up with a tire. Can he find anything with it? Going into the back, getting down pretty low, not going to be able to make it too far, and Archer does deny that tire of any kills, any opening picks there. And now just giving more time for Zergling to generate that EMP, as these guys have not been getting aggressive at all.
A Widowmaker as well from Su is a little surprising here. We saw it from him in the round of 8 on Route 66. We saw it on Hollywood as well in the first map of this set. So seeing that, I mean, he's able to make plays with it, but I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be able to find any picks here, because there's some pretty decent spots for the defense to be able to hold back. But the EMP comes out now from Zergling right onto the point. There really wasn't a whole lot of a presence there from the Bunny Blasters, who are dispersed all over the place here. And honestly, I'm pretty sure this should be ELO Terrorists holding on for the next several minutes. They're in a terrific position to do so.
Again, this is that section of the map that's very, very tough, man. It's really hard to actually get through this against ELO Terrorists. This type of team, they're just so good on this map. We've seen them on it very consistently rather. And Zergling knows exactly how to play this Sombra the right way on the defensive side, and they know how to play around that as well. And we're seeing the sound barrier open things up. Zergling not going to be able to get that hack off, and now George Lyon cutting right through him.
Greenstop going to be taken down, so maybe an opportunity to unleash the Death Blossom if he finds he's in a good position to do so. But Su is actually cleaning it up on the Tracer, and they're in a pretty good position to be able to make the hold. Zergling not quite ready to go with an EMP, only at 70%. I think their best hope right now is for Greenstop to fall. I mean, look at right now, Prodigy's in the base, denying them any exit whatsoever. Now Greenstop onto the point. No opportunity to unsheath the blade. He's going to be taken down. Ponzor trying to come in for the Resurrect. No, the Death Blossom shuts him down. EMP's out. It does not matter. The Baby Diva gonna be dropped here. Dragon Blade is out from Greenstop, but he's not anywhere close to the objective, and that will be a successful capture. And ELO Terrorists making me, or excuse me, Bunny Blasters making me eat my words here.
I mean, Bunny Blasters, again, making another point to the fact that they are definitely getting better as time goes on. Still, though, not the full roster that we're used to seeing out of Rocket Esports. So it's tough to kind of generate a metric because of that, but still really doing quite a good job. We've seen teams cap against this roster, even with their full team on board, but still at the end of the day, we're typically seeing these guys coming away with it. So even though 348 is a phenomenal time coming up against a team like this, it still might not be enough. We'll have to see. I mean, can they make the stop? Fitz is going to be on the Sombra here. George Lyon has been doing fantastically so far on the Genji. Hippie by Day has been an absolute, I mean, he's been a fiend. He's been insane so far tonight. He's been making plays on literally every single character that he's been on. I mean, we've seen him on the Pharah. We've seen him on the Roadhog in particular, especially, I would say. We've seen him on the Zarya. We've seen him now on the Diva as well. I mean, really good stuff from him. I think he's been huge for these guys. But is he and the rest of this team, are they going to be enough to be able to combat the onslaught of aggression that comes out from ELO Terrorists, as we know from watching their full roster play for the past 2-3 months?
That's the question here. Green stop is going to be on to the Widowmaker. Currently, we'll see if that's something he wants to stick with. Wouldn't be surprised to see it. Wouldn't put it past him. But if it doesn't pan out, probably going to make that immediate change over to the Genji. At least I would imagine. Fit's going to be on the Sombra as well. See if he can charge up that EMP rather quickly. I mean, they've got 348 to work with on the other end here, so they're not in a bad position whatsoever. They're feeling pretty comfortable right now about where they're at in this set.
Now we're going to be seeing Benji drop down. Greenstop just trying to put the pressure on. Ooh, getting that last shot up onto Benji. Now they're forced to get aggressive into Greenstop here as George Lion trying to find that kill. Still has the pressure on him. They're just trying to win out this duel here. And it's going to be George Lion actually pulling away with that one. Still, though, ELO terrorists have been able to just work themselves onto the point here, putting some pressure out onto the Junkrat as well. And Zergling untouched in the backline, man.
EMP is out from Fitz. Can he keep himself alive? It's the real question right now. And I Am Root brings back Sue, and they're in a pretty decent position right now here. That EMP was everything to denying a defense matrix out there from Zuck, and he might actually get out of this one. Maybe. Does he get the health pack? He does get the safety here, so maybe he can retreat, get back with the rest of the team. But Green Stop, of course, made the change to the Genji, kind of as anticipated, takes care of George Lion, who is nearing a Dragon Blade, and now they've got a 6-on-5 position. What can they make of it?
Now we're going to see Sue holding onto that tire. We've seen phenomenal stuff from tires in the past, but man, he might get denied there. Suck actually does take out Root. Here comes the tire. Can he find anything with it?
Oh, not quite going to be able to do it. Man, Root was so close to being able to get behind the wall, but that self-destruct, man, just a little too close for comfort here. And that will be ELO Terrorists securing the first objective here with 6:18 to work with.
Look at the ults.
Yeah, I know, and there's no EMP. They don't have to worry about an EMP on the other end, so this could be pretty good, but you got to remember that I Am Root is coming up on Valkyrie, which could save the day with Resurrect after Resurrect.
Absolutely could, but two support ults coming out from Zergling and Saponzor, but Zergling gets taken down by Sue. Just that constant pressure of throwing grenades down the middle caught him off guard somehow. I mean, you have to wonder how it did catch him off guard, but nonetheless it did, and the damage as well was boosted by the Mercy, so that is definitely a huge threat for sure. If you get caught by that and you take any other kind of damage, you will fall for sure. But again, just more time for Fitz to generate that EMP, and look at that, he did.
Man. He drops it in the back. George Lion is over the wall here. They don't even need him to follow up. That was all Benji, Fitz, and Hibby by Day cleaning that up with ease into the back line off that EMP. The rest of the team was already on the point. They weren't as a collective unit. And even so, what do you even do into that EMP situation? Not a whole lot you can here. So another easy hold for these guys, and they only use one ultimate in the process. If they can space these out well enough to deny what is going to be thrown their way by ELO terrorists, they're sitting in a fantastic position.
Duck now forced off. Make sure that he gets his mech back so they can get into this. Ooh, he's actually, is he making the full swap or is he sitting in there? He actually is going to be sticking to this, so they're going to be going single tank with Suck actually on the Reaper just to try to clean things up, because they know that they're going to want to get aggressive, but they're going to be probably unknowingly going in, attacking onto 6 different ults defensively. Sue just getting ripped apart.
In the back, though, it was Fitz with an EMP. The Riptire didn't quite find anything. Now it's George Lion's opportunity to shine with a Dragon Blade here. He is all over these guys, and Greenstop not able to get out of that situation. So another successful defense here, and with that in mind, they will certainly outlast them in terms of how much time is going to be remaining on the clock. The question is, can they find a second checkpoint capture in 4 minutes? Because they have no progress whatsoever. It's honestly gonna take one hell of a push from these guys. But again, they didn't really use many ultimates in that last fight.
Didn't really at all. They still have Zergling, which is kind of one of the more important ones, if not the most important one here, as Zergling can make sure that he stays alive long enough and keeps the rest of his team alive long enough. But the res comes out, equalizing everything. Sue more than likely to get picked up here, but George Lion finding the kill onto the Mercy. They need to clean up now.
They have to here. I mean, the trades, if it goes evenly, clearly going to favor the defense. And with Prodigy out of the picture now, they get absolutely nothing off of that push. Everything thrown into that. They use a Transcendence, a Pulse Bomb, Primal Rage, and they come through with no progress whatsoever. And Bunny Blasters just have to sit here smiling. They are 3 minutes and 15 seconds away from moving into the finals here tonight. And another EMP ready to go, locked and loaded from Fitz.
Now we're going to be seeing Zergling here trying to make sure he doesn't die from that Junkrat pressure that's coming out. Junkrat historically has always been good at the second point on this map, but now given the changes, even more of a threat. And George Lion going through and just dicing them up completely, has his blade again as Sue goes ahead and cleans up alongside Benji. And now that it's 2:45 remaining here, it's starting to become a little bit of a worry, I would say, at least from me. I would say it's absolutely a worry for them to even be able to get the second point.
And you got to think about it like this as well. Even if they do come through with a successful push, right? Say they get a tick, 2 ticks. It's doubtful they're going to get the full 100% in a single push. And even if they do here, it's going to be at least a minute to 90 seconds fight at that. When you've got a Dragon Blade ready to go and Benji ready with the Primal Rage. So with that in mind, this could come down to basically the last fight, and they have to consistently worry about this Riptire and EMP threat. Sue moves them all the way back, buys another 10-15 seconds right now, and Fitz coming up on that EMP. They have not found a way to deny this Sombra, who is, again, 86% and counting. They have to find an opportunity to move in, but Archer getting picked off by Sue, the Junkrat, not what you want to see right now. Even with the kill on the George Lion here, they can't afford to move into this fight 5-on-5.
Well, they're pushing in regardless and getting in there now. As they did pick Archer back up, they found the initial pressure to take out 3, and Storm, it looks like they might be able to pull this off.
Oh, there's an opportunity, but you got to remember what is coming off of respawn for the side of the defense. You still have an EMP, you still have a Dragon Blade, but can they hold on long enough? Benji now has a Primal Rage to prolong this one even further if they need it, but a Deadeye connects onto Sue. EMP's out there from Fitz, but there's nobody there to follow up. George Lion isn't back in this fight. Now, a Dragon Blade being unsheathed. Can he be the cleanup crew that his team needs? Nobody's really there. Finds one for himself. Needs some support, but Taponzor brings up that solo kill, and Hurix, they've got 60 seconds. I think they've got this in the bag. Fitz is onto the point. Riptire's out. Sue immediately taken down Hurix. Just a few percentage ticks away from being able to secure this one, Hurix, but they're trying to push it into overtime. Not going to be the case. They come through with objective B. In the final moments, they've got 60 seconds to 3 minutes and 56 Hurix. That is a huge, huge difference in time. That honestly, I'm thinking Bunny Blasters have this in the bag.
I'm pretty sure it's going to go to the way of Bunny Blasters. Excuse me. And, you know, honestly, that is a tremendous amount of time. 3:56, almost 3 full minutes of extra time allotted to their time bank to be able to secure that first point and get any kind of progress on the second. I mean, in 1 minute, to be able to unlock that first objective is well within the realm of possibility. Certainly plausible to assume that that's going to happen. Now, the second point, especially given what we just saw, very hard to assume that we're going to see them get 33% or more. 3:56, though? That's good enough, man. Given that extra 30 seconds that you get after capping the first point, if they do, which I imagine they will, that's about 4.5 minutes to try to get 33% on lock on that second objective. I honestly think Bunny Blasters has got this.
Couldn't agree more, to be quite honest, because Fitz and Sue have really started to turn it up here on the Junkrat and the Sombra. Sue's last moments there with the Riptire weren't spectacular by any means, but he was trying to pull out the quad kill, the 5-6-man kill if possible. But with that in mind, Greenstop goes back to a Widowmaker, so he's going to stick with this one to see what he can make of it right away. Last time didn't work out so well, made a change to Genji, and that's what helped them secure the first objective here. But again, they don't have much time, so he's going to have to find some picks or make that change immediately, as they're still trying to maintain control of the high ground. Now Prodigy up top here, trying to find a kill onto Sue. He actually, Benji gets taken down a little out of position, gets brought back up though, but they don't have Hippie by Day ready to go with the defense matrix because he's taken out of the mech, and this is looking like the ELO terrorists have this in the bag.
Well, we're seeing George Lion take on Greenstop, finally finds that kill, but once again, it just gives all the more ability here for ELO terrorists to come through and just get complete control of the point. And this time around, ELO terrorists not letting this one go at all, putting pressure onto the Tracer, finding that, or sorry, not the Tracer, the Sombra rather, and finding that kill. Now they're going to get that extra little 30-second time to jump in and try to secure 33% or more Obviously, ideally for them, they want the entire objective, but that's a little bit too much to ask for, in my opinion, especially given the fact that the EMP is online.
Oh, certainly. It would be big for them to come away with a single tick at this point. So Fitz EMP locked and loaded. Is he going to find a good position? He only actually connects onto a couple in the back here, because most of the team to the side of ELO Terrace had already made their way onto the point. So Fitz, not the greatest ultimate usage right there. And with that in mind, now we've got a Riptire out. Does he find anything with this one?
Oh!
No, going to be D9 here, because they've got a tick on the board. I don't know. There's not much to work with if you're the defense. Root, coming off of a respawn, is nearing his ultimate. Gonna go ahead and pop Valkyrie, brings up Hippie by Day, trying to keep him alive, but he's taken down before he can get the full usage of that. This is ticking up to 100% here, because I just don't see any way that the Bunny Blasters can hold on. Sound barriers out from Taponzor, and they get 2 checkpoints.
Why did I ever not believe?
What a turnaround.
Why did I ever not believe? I mean, we know who they are. We know who they are. Why did I never believe? I just don't understand what's wrong with me. But with a minute and a half in total time, given the fact that they did get that first checkpoint, they do manage to get not just the first tick on the second point, but the entire point along with it. Now, with 356 to defend, I don't know. I feel like I feel bad because I'm going to be flip-flopping so much, but this is just the emotional roller coaster that we've had tonight so far. And I mean, this is really looking like ELO Terrace have stolen it back once again here and are now looking to hold out to go on to the finals. But still, it's going to be a tough ride ahead of them. 356 is a lot of time. Again, remembering that 30 seconds are given after that first objective is capped as well. So it's going to be about 4.5 minutes that they have to hold out on. And that's a lot of time to worry about. They didn't do so well the last time we saw them on that second point, but maybe this time will be a little bit different.
Oh boy, here. Both teams giving up control of that first objective rather quickly. We're yet to see either of the two actually make much of a hold whatsoever on it, more than a minute at most. So with that, maybe an opportunity for ELO Terrace to prove they can do that. We'll have to see. 4 minutes is a lot of time to work with. They're going to be defending rather up close for the time being before more than likely falling back to the high ground here. And actually, that's not going to be the case. They're going to basically let them have that high ground and play it a little bit differently this time around.
Well, I mean, last time we saw them kind of surrendering the high ground as well and try to pressure out Su, but really weren't able to get much done with it. And he's just sending grenade after grenade over and hitting those tanks, dealing out a ton of damage to Prodigy in particular, who almost gets taken out, is at 20 HP, does lend some ultimate charge to Zergling, who does have the EMP at the ready. This time doesn't fall onto the point after going ahead with that. EMP comes out and gets almost everybody with it.
But still, they're not finding a whole lot of kills at this point. You want to see them take care of the Diva when that EMP comes out, because now that defense matrix is going to be available to him, which is honestly a massive threat for these guys. And with that, that should be a point A secured. Took them about a minute or so. They still need to take care of both the Tracer and the Diva. They forced out a sound barrier as well. Probably not what you would have liked to see. I mean, they've got a lot of time to work with for this point B here, but that would have been a vital part of a point B capture over the next push if they had that sound barrier.
Yeah,
because it's going to be into a Dragon Blade as well.
Yeah, they absolutely need that sound barrier if they're going to be capping out that first point completely. I mean, you can still get, you know, the first tick or something without it, but you'll more than likely lose someone as you run in and without that. So it's going to be really tough. Now we're going to be seeing the blade coming out from Green Stop. Again, they're just trying to get aggressive, try to steal away as much time as possible without using as much as they really have to. I mean, Prodigy using his ult there, I'm not really sure about that, to be honest, but
they clean him up. They cleaned him up. That's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to shut down that first push immediately, because that is quite often the most scary one. But a lot of that is because of the ult charge. You know, you clean them up, you have that favor, that ult favor in terms of the offense, but didn't really show there. So maybe they have an opportunity here with 2:15. They have to capture this second checkpoint. Otherwise, it's going to be ELO Terrace moving into the finals here tonight. Pulse Bomb's out there. Actually kills himself off, unfortunately, here. It's now Hippie by Day. Has a nano boost onto himself. Can he find anything with this one? Not a whole lot of really targets for him to focus fire down, given that Prodigy was kind of out of the fight. Now he reinitiates into this one, and with 2 people down and out of this one here, I just don't see them being able to pull through on this push.
Yeah, and Prodigy now getting down very low, but they have already wiped the board completely. 143 remaining. I mean, ELO did it with even less time, so it's always going to be possible, but looking at the ultimates that are stacked up, it does not look probable. Maybe by day got boosted before. Obviously not going to have that now, as the Blossom is getting ever closer, but without that damage boost, it's hard to say if that's going to be enough to wipe them completely. They do have the sound barrier this time, but can it be enough to actually get in there and secure some early kills?
They're going to move in, and off of EMP actually comes out as well. Is it enough as Benji picks up 2 early ones for themselves? The defense doesn't really have much to work with other than that Dragon Blade from Green Stop, who should come off of a respawn. They need to make sure they can get 2 or 3 people back into this one, knowing that George Lion is now down. They could have a numbers advantage coming off of respawn. Now the Dragon Blade into a Death Blossom. No, he is denied immediately. QRX Prodigy still back into this one and stuck as well, unable to get back into the into his mech. Prodigy thankfully has a Primal Rage to prolong it just a little bit here. Pulse Bomb from Su connects onto the Ponzor, denies any healing whatsoever, as there's no one here on the point to be able to support these tanks here. This is looking rough, especially now with the sound barrier coming out for the offense. Dragon Blade from George Lion into the back, finds Zergling before he's able to get any damage done here. They're trying to push this to overtime.
Hippie by Day needs to be dealt with. They need to put some pressure out onto this guy. 16 seconds remaining. They're just looking to try to get it down to 0 at this point, because there's really not much of a hope at all for them to be able to hang on and make this defense happen, given the fact that they don't have those swinging ults that are going to be expected to do it. But oh man.
Oh man, so both teams gonna come through with 1 minute and 3 seconds for the side of Bunny Blasters, and this is the final attempt. I mean, this is Temple of Anubis, man. So what are they gonna make of it? That's the real question right here. What are they gonna make of it? A tie would push us to a best of 1. Yes, a best of 1 on Oasis to determine who moves into the finals tonight. What are you thinking, man?
I'm thinking someone's going to cap the first point. I mean, I feel like it's pretty much going to happen. Really,
they did it with 1 minute last time.
Well, both teams did it with a phenomenal time last time as well. So,
ELO did both points with 1 minute, I should say.
Oh, that's very true. I don't suspect that they're going to be able to pull that off again. I think it's pretty likely that we'll see both teams get the first point, and then we'll just have it end at that point. Like, we'll see 30 seconds given to them. They'll jump in, get wiped, and that'll be that, more than likely. I mean, I'm not sure if I see anything more than that. I don't think it's fair to assume that any team is going to be able to just go completely just all the way in and get that. I mean, ELO would probably be the team to bet on for something like that, but to do it 2 times in a row against even a team like Bunny Blasters, who hasn't really ever been really touted as good as these guys, they're still proving to be quite a contender tonight and really performing the best that we've seen so far. So I don't know. It's tough to expect to see this go to 6 points on either side.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Have happened. So we'll see. Oh man, actually, Hippie by Day kind of caught out in a bad position. Is able to reposition himself onto the point, and man, they open it up on fire here. And this is what they've been looking for. This is the kind of defensive stand they needed in the previous 2 attempts here, and they might have just denied them any progress whatsoever. They're going to have 20 seconds to do something. Does Green Stop stick with the Widowmaker? It looks like he wants to.
He's going to go in and try to make an opening pick play, trying to get some damage out onto that Roadhog. And Benji now looking to get aggressive here. Forced to pull back. They're looking for an opportunity to find a pick, and a lot of these guys are super low, and Taponzor moves in alongside Green Stop, and they find that opening pick. Now George Lion forced back, but he finds the kill early again, equalizing things here a little bit.
Yeah, and that EMP from Fitz was pretty well timed. Sug was kind of out of position to be able to hold off from the whole hog that was out there by Hippie by Day, and they clean this up. D.Va is on the point, so is Taponzor, but they can only skip around for so much. The sound barrier from I Am Root to secure this one. Prodigy gonna try to leap back. Does he make it? No, not gonna be the case here, and they get 0% on the board whatsoever, which means Bunny Blasters, all they need to do is come up with 33% to move into the finals. Again, if they find nothing here, we're headed to a best of 1 on Oasis. A full reset for both teams, but extremely little wiggle room to work within a best of one.
Man. Bunny Blasters in a good spot right now. And remember back to their first 2 attacks. I mean, they looked completely dominant on the first point. I would say that they have a pretty good shot here. I mean, we see them consistently get control of the high ground with Green Stop on that Junkrat. They just dish out damage from up on top of that back plateau and just throw it all onto the point where basically all of ELO terrorists are just sitting and they don't really know what to do. They don't know really where to go. Project TV kind of falling back to where he is right now. And then going back to that kind of major health pack over on the side back towards that alley. But considering the fact that they're all separated and all over the place, it gives a huge advantage to Green Stop and the rest of ELO terrorists. But now looking to hold out here on defense with this. Or not, sorry, not Green Stop. Actually, Sue is the person I was talking about. My bad. I was speaking completely incorrectly there. But same thing applies. Sue up top and dishing out the damage. My apologies.
Curix, could this 39-minute match result in a tie? Oh, I would be super disappointed if that's the case, man.
Kill me.
Anyhow, 45 seconds. Again, not much time to work with. A single pick for the side of ELO Terrace is going to be a big win for them. But the real question is, do they move in right now? They need to get moving because Zergling is charging up that EMP rather quickly. Green Stop as well is getting close to a Riptire, which could be big. But Sue picked off early on here by Arsha. They're going to choose to commit regardless off of this, even with only 25 seconds to go. And now with Benji out of the fight, you got to pull back, cut your losses, and look for one final initiation.
Maybe by day, D-mech'd here kind of late. Looks like they will find that kill right after. And now Riptire at the ready. They tried to bring out the Junkrat here on the defense just to try to make things a little different. Oh, it looks like he's going to find something. I think he will. I think he will.
Oh, he gets fit so, man, but Benji gets a nano boost on the point. Is it enough to find anything here as they drop everything? Sound barriers out there from I'm Root. Hits both him, Hippie by Day, and Benji, but they're not going to be lasting too much longer.
Oh, no.
I think it's it.
Help.
We've got a tie. I think we're headed to Oasis for a best of one to see who moves into the finals.
Help.
Oh, man.
Help. Help me.
I want to see what the map score or the map time was.
Help me.
Play of the game.
I mean, he's calling it dumb, but you guys picked the maps. It was OW draft.
That's true.
Oh, man.
They did it themselves, man.
They did. They certainly did. Man, Green Stop. It's all honestly, it's all been about him with these play the games. It's 21 minutes. What? Feels like that was at least 40 to 50, man. But what do you think of best of 1 Oasis? Who's got this in the bag?
My brain doesn't even work at this point. It's getting so late. I'm gonna, okay, just thinking about it, going to Oasis. We saw some good stuff with Heavy by Day in the past. I'm actually gonna go offbeat a little bit. Because the safe pick would more than likely be ELO terrorists, more often than not. I'm going to say Bunny Blasters, and I think the sole reason why I'm saying that is because of Hippie by Day. And the flexibility that he has, what he brings to this roster, both on Roadhog and on Pharah, two very, very strong picks on this next map if they get the right maps. I'm going to say if they get the right ones, Bunny Blasters is going to get this one for sure.
Well, they are ready to go. A reminder, guys, semifinals right here. Bunny Blasters, ELO Terrorists, winner of this round. The single soul round will be taking on what are they called? Where's Baldo? In the finals. I don't know about that team name, but hey, they beat the full 6-man squad last week, the full Rocket Esports team. So hey, they're a force to be reckoned with, man. They certainly are. I'm excited to see what that matchup is going to bring us here. But Oasis, we've got our round chosen, we've got our map chosen, and we'll see what these teams are going to be bringing to the table. I can't imagine it's going to be anything too out of the ordinary, but honestly, I got to agree with you. I'm thinking Bunny Blasters move into the finals right now.
I think it's going to be a tough fight. This is one of the maps that I thought Bunny Blasters was actually going to be able to take. I'm not super confident. I will say, I will say I'm not super confident about that decision, but I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say that this is going to be. There are two maps in this on this one that I think that Bunny Blaster is going to come out ahead, and I think it's solely because of Hippie by Day being on that Roadhog, and then the other one being the.
This is best of one, man.
Best of one. Ooh. Okay, so the fact that they got the one that I thought that they were going to draw.
Best of one.
I am completely way too tired for this at this point. Then I say they have it. I say they have it. Hippie by Day on the Roadhog. This is one of the ones I was looking for. Best of one. I don't know what's wrong with my head right now, but I say they have it.
All right, let's see if that's the case here. Bunny Blaster's on the red. We've got ELO Terrorists over on the blue here, and Green Stop back on that Genji, taking a little bit of early pressure, but something that kind of comes to mind right away. George Lyon's on Zarya, and Sue is on McCree. So a couple of change-ups. We've seen George Lyon on Zarya before, but, you know, he's done wonders with the Genji here. Maybe they're thinking that triple tank setup can work a little bit better against Green Stop and Archer right away here, but they've got the position on the point here, looking for Benji to kind of make a move in here, but Prodigy actually kind of misses a jump in a rough spot, going to be forced to back off for the time being. Benji's shield is now down. Do they move in off of this here? It's looking for an opportunity. Oh no, George Lyon taken down early, but so is Archer. Benji charges back, hits the D.Va here, and they're kind of all over the place right now, but it looks like Sue is cleaning up for his squad. His Bunny Blasters coming through with the first point, more than likely.
Well, not coming through with this accuracy right now. A little bit of NA aim action going on, but still finding that kill and dealing with Archer, saving that flashbang for that pick, and they do get control of the point first, which is certainly good for my prediction. And demeching the D.Va as well is huge for them. They should be able to find a late kill onto... Oh, nope, never mind.
Oh, maybe.
Never mind.
Maybe D.Va's still there, man. He's not jumping, so... A little surprising. I mean, they're all back in here. They really can't move in with them without that mech. It's not going to take them too long, but if they were to find a late kill onto that baby D.Va, that would be huge. I just don't think that's going to be the case, as they actually go ahead and use a nano boost. Benji with the ear shatter in the back, lands onto one. There's a pulse bomb. Man, he finds nothing because of that transcendence. They pop a sound barrier as well. Now we see the D.Va come back into the mech there from Suck, as they look to move on to the point. Dragon Blade's out as well. Green Stop trying to pull it through for his team, and I think they've done just that. Need to take care of the Reinhardt, who charges into the Abyss, and they'll be able to get the flip here.
They put so much out there to be able to secure that, but still getting control. That's what matters here. Fitz tried to turn Benji into an absolute monster by boosting him up just to try to find a charge kill onto Taponzor, who did get dropped down, but they weren't able to find that kill, which was not good because they allotted two different ultimates to get nothing out of it. Now we're seeing Hippie by Day move in, trying to find that opening pick. Can he get a hook off so that Sue can follow up and find the kill?
Oh, self-destruct is out there. Not going to find anything, but Fitz is the first to fall here. Sue really needs to put the team on his back, because that's originally what opened up the window for them to capture the first objective points here. And with him now out of the picture, they will be able to secure a lead here in this best of one round, or best of one map. Everything matters at this point. Every single thing matters right now. So I'm looking for something big from George Lyon. Get that Graviton Surge, get a whole hog into that. You do have to worry about that that Transcendence though, so this could be rough.
Now we're seeing the Graviton come down. Green Stop trying to prevent that, but just a little bit too late. I think he called that one too, but just came out a little bit late on it. Now Archer trying to make some plays. Prodigy in that Primal Rage, dealing with Sue. This is back and forth here, Storm.
Earthshatter comes out. Benji completely. He has absolutely nothing on that one. So 70% and counting is Green Stop with the Dragon Blade. Finds one to wrap up that fight here. And here it's going to come down to this final engagement. They have a sound barrier to work with on the side of ELO Terrorists. Bunny Blasters, only a Deadeye. Sue's going to have to come up big because they used everything in that last fight here. They used absolutely everything they had available to them. And it's coming down to this one final engagement. Can they make it work? As it looks like Prodigy actually trying to dive up top. Sound barrier comes out there from Taponzor. Doesn't quite hit Archer. It's coming out now. Sue with the Deadeye. Can he find anything into this mess? He finds Taponzor, and they might just pull this back.
Well, Hippie by Day also got a pick onto Archer, which basically means that the McCree doesn't have to use his flashbang on it. They can use that to find a different pick. They should get this flip because of that. Hippie by Day making a huge play for his team. Should be able to find some late kills here. just a matter of time. 50% now on the board for these guys. They do not have basically anything here. George Lion, Fitz, Benji getting pretty close. George Lion is going to be the one to look for, but have to be careful because Greenstop has been really good about actually finding those deflects on the Graviton, actually. So a little bit late last time, but maybe this time he can find it.
Hopefully, for the sake of Bunny Blasters, these ultimates don't come up too late into the fight because they have so many people who are on the cusp of grabbing theirs. But Prodigy, out of position, there was nobody there. There's the Graviton Surge, Greenstop and Archer turning their heads, wondering what happened in that situation, where their team was at, Hurix, and that was poorly executed. Now it will certainly come down to this final engagement.
It's going to come down to Hippie by Day and Benji. Can they get these guys off the point? Isolate out the back line as much as possible to find anything that they possibly can. A lot of ults coming out here from ELO Terrace. Can they get onto the point? Can they make something happen?
The Dragon Blade absolutely nullified there as it was
Oh!
on. And oh man, the Earthshatter does a fight. He fights to go on his opponents over here. They still have the Deadeye to work with as well. Here's trying to hold on as best they can, but Prodigy hit with the hit with the bio grenade. They pull through. They can't get back, and oh my goodness, the Bunny Blasters blast themselves into the finals, man. They win it on Oasis. A terrific set from these guys. Well-deserved placement in the finals here tonight. And again, reiterating, this was the semifinals, guys. We still have a best-of-3 set yet to come.
I'm just going to say, my man Benji, the most fortunate Reinhardt alive, coming through off that 1 out of 3 on the Earth Shatters. 1 out of 3 landing and actually being impactful ultimates, and that just happened to be the biggest impact of that match, securing themselves a spot into the finals against the team that typically wins them outright. So finally now we'll be able to go into the finals. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here, and we are just now starting the last series. I'm excited already, obviously.